My first 2 years online were a struggle. I got into debt over $5,000 and I made pretty much zero amount of money online. And then in 2020, in about 6 to 8 months, I managed to make over $30,000 by selling affiliate products, my own products, coaching, all this kind of stuff. So I did that by following these five really simple, like stupidly simple steps that you can follow in your own business and hopefully see some results. And real important thing, I did this only with my Facebook. Okay, it was simple profile and a really small Facebook group. So in this video, I'll walk you through these 5 steps and how you may implement them in your own business. By the way, if you're noticing that my screen is kind of strange, I don't know what's happening. It's something with the camera, but we will do some screen sharing, and I do want to share some things. We want to have a picture here. This is like more advanced picture. This was like created for over 6 figures. For your first $30,000, you don't need all of this, but we'll get to it. So let's start. So step number one, we always start with the offer, okay? And the reason we start with an offer is because everything else is determined by our offer. What I mean by that is that, I don't know, let's say I sell how to grow on TikTok and whatever, how to scale your videos from like 1,000 views to like 10,000 and monetize and whatever. Like that offer will determine who I will target, what groups on Facebook will I go to find these people, what kind of content will I post? Because like if I sell whatever, like weight loss for women, it's gonna be different type of content than if I sell like how to grow your TikTok videos, right? If that makes sense. So that's one of the reasons why we want to start with an offer. So you need to have an offer, ideally validated, or you want to validate it. And another thing that I would add that's really important is for the offer to be a high ticket offer, meaning now high ticket is thrown around a lot and it means different things for different people, but to make it really easy, it doesn't need to be like high ticket, like 10K and above, but it can be, I would say at a minimum, you should earn, ideally profit, like 500 to $1,000 per one sale. And the reason is, especially if you're newer, and even if you're not, like unless you have like this big audience and this new lead flow coming to your business every single day and week and month, it's gonna be really hard to have this like huge volume to sell like lower units. Okay, now I did manage to make like $10,000-$20,000 months with like products that are like between 100 and 500 bucks, but overall the most amount of money still was made with higher ticket products that were bringing me like 500,000 bucks and more. Like I sold even like $3, $5, $6,000 products and services. So that's number one. You want to start with an offer. You want to make sure it pays well, and this dictates everything else that we are also doing. That's not drawn out here, so we can continue. So step number two that we have is that you need to define and find your ideal avatar. So again, similar to the offer, we already kind of like mentioned this, but if you are targeting whatever, again, let's take the example I took, like you're targeting affiliate marketers or coaches who are trying to grow on TikTok, but they are having like whatever 500 views. Your job, called job, is to find them. This is what I did on Facebook. Okay, my first step was I had this high ticket product which was $1,500 at a time, and my commission, because initially I started as an affiliate, was $750. Okay, that was step one. I started with an offer. Then step two was like, okay, who am I gonna sell this offer to? And in my case, back in 2020, this was, I started with, okay, I'm gonna sell to the avatar that needs this the most, which was easily, fortunately for me, the avatar that I was in the previous 2 years. So little context, I used to be sold on like funnels and automation and all this kind of stuff. And later down the road, I realized this is not what you need. Hence, by the way, this strategy, because with this strategy, I made money without funnels initially, without ads, without any automation. It was just on Facebook. And again, walking you through it. So anyways, this was the realization I had. And I just came back to the people who were like myself, sold on like funnels. They were affiliates, and they were like, okay, to have success, I need to have funnels, have this automation, have funnel softwares, email autoresponders, all this stuff. And turns out you don't, right? So anyways, you want to find, like, I found these people. I found they're like, luckily for people on Facebook, they're literally groups that contain your ideal avatar. And I just found, join these groups, like you want to join whatever, at a minimum 3, probably 5 or more, but make sure they're pretty related. And this can be like paid groups, this can be free groups, doesn't, well, it matters. Ideally it would be paid groups. Like imagine if someone paid $1,000 or $2,000 to learn how to market on TikTok. They're much more qualified. They're a prospect who prove that they wanna invest in themselves. They're more serious. They have buying power. So if you have access to paid groups, ideally either you were before part of them, or you can even, honestly, those are good investments. If you know that if I pay this like $500,000 to join this group with a couple of thousand of people who all pay thousands of dollars and they're all my ideal avatar, that's like, you're golden. And I had at my time, I had mix of those groups. By the way, T stands for traffic. This is your traffic, by the way, on Facebook. This is how I made money. I went to these groups and I simply added 20 to 40. I mean, this is ideally, I did more, I did less, but let's say 30 on average. You're adding these people as your friends on your Facebook profile. And why this works, like, Facebook is really specific platform, and this is why I really love it, especially for beginners, because it allows you to be really targeted. Again, if I can join the groups with my ideal avatar, both free and paid, that's number one. Number two, instead of like just posting content, like a lot of platforms, you post content and you hope that algorithm will serve it to the right people, that they will come, that they will subscribe or follow you, that they will see your content and take action. It's a lot of hoping, right? Whereas on Facebook, you can be much more proactive. This is what I really love about it. So I was going to these groups, I was adding, let's say on average, about 30 people a day. And by the way, you can later outsource this part, but in the beginning, I do recommend adding people yourself just so you learn the process. Taking the time. And if you're like, oh, Mirjok, that's a lot of time, well, welcome to business, as Hormozy says. Anyways, and now what was happening is that I was growing my audience, right? With targeted people who all have the problem and are doing the thing that I can solve, right? And you can see that if I'm adding 30 people, let's say for 6 days, that's 180 people a week. And let's say let's say 100 a step, that's a bit more than half. But honestly, if you do your profile right, it can be much higher number. But let's say for the math's sake, about 100 a week accept your friend request, because not everyone will. That means that you're adding 400 targeted people every month, which means that in like 2.5 months, you can have over 1,000 friends or audience members on your profile who are all targeted, right? That was step number 2. I had full friend list of people that I knew I can help and my product can help. Now, step number 3 is creating content that converts. Now, I'll do, by the time you're watching this, it's probably already done. So I might link it below or whatever. You can find it on the channel. By the way, make sure you subscribe for more content like this. You can find a video where I dive deeper into these 4 types of content that help me make multiple 6 figures online. But in short, I'll cover them here. This is what I was creating on my personal profile. So I would go and I would make simple posts, let's say 200 to more serious, like 1,000-word posts. Obviously, like, you can do videos like lives, you can do all this other kind of stuff. But for simplicity's sake, just simple posts, simple content that was doing 4 things. It was building goodwill with my audience, meaning I was delivering value, kind of like what I'm trying to do here. Hopefully you find this valuable. It's like, okay, this is what I'm doing, sharing my journey, teaching them, sharing tips, all this kind of stuff, building goodwill, building rapport, which is like sharing more about my journey, my philosophy, my values, my stance, my personal life, all this kind of stuff. Then influence. This was like belief shifting, marketing to my audience, making sure that I told you that I used to believe, and my audience also, like my, I should say ideal avatar at the time, also used to believe, okay, they need funnels to make money online. So part of my content was addressing those beliefs and being like, hey, I used to believe funnels were the thing. Realize you don't need them when you're starting out. You can just make money with simple Facebook profile. And people were like, what? How? Like, I thought I need to pay like hundreds of dollars every month, and it was complex, and I'm not tech savvy and all this stuff. And I was relieving the pain, shifting their beliefs, and getting them to come to me. So that's what step 3 does. It's kind of like you're marketing to them. And there is like fourth type of content, which helps grow your status and authority, because I teach them, because I show them stuff, because I have some results that they want to have. They are more inclined to listen to me. And imagine, like, every month you're growing 400 people. They come, they see your content, they got indoctrinated in your world. Eventually they go from like audience members and followers into leads, and later into sales as well, but we'll get to that part. So again, there's entire separate video how do you create this content, but basically point is to nurture, educate, and pre-sell your audience. Even sell. I had many sales coming directly from my content. People would read or watch and they would buy without ever talking to me. Those are the best and ideal. Doesn't happen a lot, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's step number 3. Okay, now step number 4 is Messenger. Now Messenger is the thing that ties all of this together. Again, you don't want to pay attention to these 2 things right now. This comes later as you scale, and I'll do one video on how to create your own like 6-figure ecosystem. But for now, for your first 10, 20, 30, $50,000, all you need is this. Now, at a time, I did have a group and a mail, but this is optional. Like, I had clients who made over 5 and multiple 5 figures with just their profile, with the Messenger, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, like the good offer, all this kind of stuff that we're talking about. So Messenger is there. The reason I love Messenger, especially again, the newer you are, the more powerful Messenger is, because it does multiple things, similar to content, where it helps nurture, grow, pre-sell the audience. It does a lot of things. Now, content has a bit more leverage because it's one-to-many, but also Messenger has other advantages, again, more for beginners, in that with Messenger, you can also build rapport, because like, let's say you and I chat, obviously we like each other more, maybe, like I'm now not some random stranger on the Facebook, now you know me, and you can connect with your leads, right? That's one thing. You can build rapport. You can use it to like sell people. You can use it to close people. Most of my, after my content became better, after I knew how to create lead magnets that bring quality leads and turn them into buyers, I use Messenger not anymore to build rapport and sell, but mostly for closing. By the time I talk to someone in Messenger, they're usually sold on my process, sold on me, and we're discussing whether they're buying or not, okay? But in the beginning, I used to like try to connect with people, build that rapport. Also, like I use Messenger mostly for follow-up, right? Let's say someone doesn't buy something from me right now. Over the next couple of weeks or even months, or I had people buying after a couple of years, this is where Messenger kind of like comes in. So you can use it for cold people, meaning cold DMing them, cold DM, maybe people who already interacted with your content, so like let's say warm people, and even hot people who maybe asked for your stuff. Maybe they saw your post, they are like, yeah, I'm interested, and you reach out to them. I also use Messenger for that, for the delivery, because you can just post it in the comment, right? Like, you know, I don't know if you're on Facebook, but if you're on Facebook, you know, these like 2-step posts where people say, hey, who wants this training on X, Y, and Z? And you have like dozens of people answering. And then you can just drop the link in the comments of what they requested. But what I found works even better is when you do both. So what I love to do is either send both a comment. I'm like, hey, you requested this, but I'll send it on Messenger as well in case you missed it. And then I go on Messenger and send it over there as well. So I deliver training, I do follow-up, I do closing, and Messenger does all of these things. It's really powerful, again, especially if you're a beginner. So that would be step number 4. And then the last step is optimizing your profile and engagement. So I didn't mention this. I think most people know this by now, but if you don't, I'll briefly cover it. One of the things that you want to do is optimize your profile. Now, different people have different names for it. I heard sticky profile, branded profile, profile funnel. All these are names, but what this essentially does is multiple things. You set up your profile in a way that allows you to capture more people if they land on your profile, right? But it also allows you to funnel them further, because maybe, let's say you're over in this group, you drop some cool comment and someone is like, oh, who is this person? Boop, they drop on your profile, they check out your content, they're like, fuck, this guy's legit. And in the bio, which is part of the optimization, you're like, hey, join my free group. Like in my case, yeah, so this is my profile funnel, and let's say I dropped some comment and someone is like, someone lands here on my profile, they come, they're like, oh cool, he dropped some content, maybe they read something, they like something, whatever, and they're like, okay, I like this person. Or maybe they saw some of my posts, they were intrigued, they drop on my profile, and if they're not following me, hopefully they click the follow button. And if they are, they might be like, okay, read more about me, coffee fanatic, 0 to 300K in under 3 years, BJJ blue belt, and coaches turn 1 to 2% of your followers to cash. And they can come here and boom, this leads them where? Directly to my group, right? Because I'm funneling people there. Anyways, that's kind of like how it looks. And okay, I shouldn't have, yeah, whatever. Basically, when you do this with your profile, like you optimize profile photo to like have your face, you optimize cover photo, you optimize your bio, and you're consistently posting valuable content for your ideal avatar, what will happen is that when people land on your profile, more of them will like engage with your content, more of them will follow, and some of them will go down your funnel. You can have group if you have one, funnel them over there, or you can like push them to the lead magnet if you don't have a group. I do recommend eventually starting your own community as well. So this is half of step 5, optimizing your profile like a mini funnel. And number 2 is engaging on other people's content. Now that you grow your list with like 400 new audience members every month, guess what? They will come up to your feed, right? Which is good. Because now, as you see their content, what you want to do is like comment. And why do we do that? This is because this will help build that reciprocity. Because if someone puts in the time to create content and you take time to like read it, consume it, and comment, say a good word about it, they will appreciate it. So that's number 1. It helps build that reciprocity and rapport. But also, the way Facebook algorithm works is it detects who you talk to, right, on Messenger, and who you interact with in comments. So guess what? If you comment on their post, they will see your post. And we talk that we optimize our content to pre-sell people, to nurture them, and all this stuff. So you comment on theirs, they like you more because you commented, then Facebook will serve them your post, and if you do a good job with your content, they will be like, fuck, I like this thing, let me ask for their advice. Boom, in the next second you're talking to them on Messenger, and in the next second they're becoming a client, right? It happened to me many times, right? So this is how it works. Obviously, like when you later include also email, community, lead magnets, this becomes even more serious business when you have the entire ecosystem. But in the beginning, all you need is your Facebook profile, the right groups, the right offer. So what did we say? We said like offer that pays you 500 to 1K. That was number 1 at a minimum. Make sure it's a good offer. Then based on that offer, you need to find the right groups. So you need groups of people that are good fit for this offer, right? Then you add about, let's say, 30 per day. Later you can outsource this part and pay someone $5 an hour to like add 30 people. You grow that audience, then you create content for your ideal avatar in a way that helps pre-sell them on you and your products and services. That's number 4. You also connect with these people via the messenger, right? You did your profile so that more people like accept you when you friend at them, and hopefully you funnel them further. And number 5, you interact with them, so you further build rapport, and so that you can like close them and all this good stuff. Now, this was literally 5 steps I followed to making my first $30,000 on Facebook. Really simple, really easy. Make sure, hopefully, you were taking notes and you were writing down on these things. Speaking of which, I'm sharing more of this cool stuff in my group. I will drop it below in the description. You can join it. It's totally free. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Again, 5 simple steps. Let's recap. 5 steps. Create high ticket. Well, you create if you're a coach. If you're an affiliate, you just pick one. High ticket offer that aligns with your ideal avatar. You find where they are, right? Who they are and where they are on the Facebook. Find groups, join groups, start adding people. Number 3, use strategic content. Again, I'll also link that one either wherever. You will see it somewhere. On 4 types of content that you use to like build rapport, build goodwill, and pre-sell your people. Then you connect with them, close them, sell to them over the messenger. You optimize your profile funnel, and lastly, like you engaged with others for more rapport and more visibility on your own content that will further sell them, and you create a cycle. Once you cross your first 5 figures, multiple 5 figures, you start to get more serious. You can add email to the mix, you can add community, you can add lead magnet. You can do it earlier as well. You don't need to wait for like whatever 20k, but sometimes it's overwhelming for people. So maybe some of you would like to wait to make at least 5 figures before like adding another step and another. You're basically adding more complexity to the system. Anyways, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing and join the group if you want.